Dan Deevy is the founder of Gaaays in Space. I am not trying to be funny or anything like that. The name of the organization is actually Gaaays in Space, okay? And it is a program, give me a second, that is supposed to basically highlight putting members of the LGBTQ community. I think the ages is like 13 to 18, but when you go to their page, it looks like it's just a landing spot for you to buy tickets. Now, I know what you're wondering, like, well, I'm sure a piece of the proceeds go to funding kids, and you know that you might be right about that. You would think you were right about that, because that's part of their mission, right? The nonprofit. Hey, we want to get kids into this STEM program. But what the biggest issue is, give me a second, I just realized my title is off, is that the kids have not gone. There's no kids that have went as of yet. But the problem is that they haven't sent any kids to space. They haven't sent any kids out there, and they're even, you know, they have some high class people there. But here is him talking about how successful 2023's event was.
Hey everybody, the last of our incredible special guests has just left Philadelphia and are on their way home, concluding the very first ever Galactic Diversity and Inclusion Convention, brought to you by Gaaays in Space. This was an absolutely phenomenal weekend, and we could not have asked for more. This has been the beginning of brand new friendships, brand new family members welcomed into ours, and an all-around incredible, amazing experience, and I can barely believe that it happened.
All right, you're like, okay, wow, this is great. You can barely believe it happened. You see people like Denise Crosby, who was there last year, but she's not going to be there this year. You know, here's her little heartfelt message.
Hi, everyone. Well, some of you may know me as playing Tasha Yar and Sela on The Next Generation. But I am really Denise Crosby, and I am making this special video to let you know how much I'm going to miss you all at this year's DNI Con, the second annual, put on by my good friend dandeevy. I can only tell you, last year being the initial con, first of many, I'm hoping and I'm assuming. It was a spectacular event put on with lots of love and care and attention to detail. And it was a great success for all. I was there with many of my colleagues to kick it off for Dan and his group. And unfortunately, I can't be there this year because I have booked an acting job and am taking off to start filming. But I leave you in capable hands. And also to share in this expression of love and joy with so many great actors coming your way. Dan does something a little special. He does it a little bit differently.
Oh, he does it way different, guys.
So I encourage you to join him and some of my great friends this April, the 19th through, I believe, the 21st, in the beautiful city of Brotherly Love in Philadelphia.
Brotherly Love.
And do it with great joy and big hearts. I'm with you in spirit. I love you, and I'll see you all down the road, okay?
Look at her. You're like, all right, Denise Crosby, that was very heartfelt. Very heartfelt. But then you go to this website called dandeevylies.com, and hey, yo, what the fuck? We just heard this. He wants to send, members of the community to the space programs, and you like, wait, why do you have this dandeevy lies? Well, for the most part, We can read a little bit. It talks about how they, through an event, it lost over 25,000, leaving the audio and visual unpaid for $10,000 and a short-term loan unpaid for $15,000. So the first event, you like, okay, was founded in 2016. They had their first event in 2023, and $25,000 of debt is gone. You like, you probably like, you know what happened. You know what happened.
Gotta get my bag and run.
Some people call this the Karen Ashley, but this is a little bit more, I would say this is a little bit more sinister than the Karen Ashley. Okay, so they collected $45,000 from grants to give these scholarships. As of April 9th, 2024, this convention is going on right now. Right now, they never gave anyone those scholarships. Not one person. Instead, the money went to pay for DNICon. That's why when you go to the website, which is the Gaaays in Space website, you see, hey, buy tickets for DNICon. The goal is to rob Peter to pay Paul. You see, hey, we got $25,000 worth of debt. What if we do this DNICon for 2024? We get the money, we could pay off the debts, and maybe potentially send some people. Now, there is a timeline with, a lot of good things, but I don't want to belabor the point. We kind of want to just hit you with the highlights. We can go to the beginning before we get into the people testimony. Okay, so apparently, if you bring up the fact that he owes debt, or maybe you think he has committed charity fraud, you must hate members of the LGBTQ community, or you must hate him. But over here, we just want the facts. The facts of the matter, that no kids, as of today, to my knowledge, has received a scholarship to attend the space program. That was the goal. Hey, you get the scholarship, you go to the space program, we pay for it all. We pay for it all. Now, when you go to search the charity status, which I've already done, you would see that it's delinquent. And when I say delinquent, I mean it is not up. Like when you're delinquent, you're out. Like, well, what does delinquent mean? Give me a second. I believe it is. Is it? No. All right, this is. Jesus, my tabs are out. All right, so here we go. Right. So if you're delinquent, you have this status of delinquent. Basically, you haven't filed your taxes and you can't do anything. You can't operate as a business. No, I think I accidentally deleted it. Oh, no, here we go. Just saw it. Here we go. So here is their status in California. It is delinquent as of yesterday when I searched it. You can see it right there. Delinquent in California, delinquent in New York, and they're not supposed to be operating as a business. Now, when you go to their taxes, which if you go to the page, the theylied.com, here's their filing, right? What you would notice, this event, this company, they took in how much in donations? They had this amount of expenses, $36,000 in expenses, $23,000 in revenue. But this $10,000 right here that you see, this went to dandeevy's pockets for rent. Now, I don't know. I know what a lot of people are thinking. You run an organization, you're supposed to benefit members of the LGBTQ community. Sure, there's going to be some expenses, but when you don't have a profit and you paying your rent with charity funds, that might cause some red flags for donors. But here's the thing. No one is aware of this, okay? When you go to give your money to this charity, they're not like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, some of this money is going to go towards our rent. And more importantly, when you look at their, how they got this grant, you see the $10,000 was for a venue. And you're like, well, wait, $10,000 for a venue? Long story short, the charity funds are used to promote the event because this guy has a thing for being his own Comic-Con. He wants to be the next Scott Zillner of Star Trek. And in doing so, it looks to be very obvious that he is using charity funds to do so. And you're like, well, what about last year? Now, look, before we get into last year, there are people who reached out and said, hey, look, this Mike Slammer guy, dandeevy owes him some money. And he's like, look, don't worry, you're going to get paid. We got Kate Hallgrew. She's going to be at the convention this year, which she's there for one day only, collecting $30,000. And that from ticket sales is going to get you paid. Now you like, bro, I did this fucking work in 2023. Why am I getting paid almost a year later in 2024? I get that you've been making payments, but this is totally unacceptable. I get it. Now, to make matters worse, if you go to the website and you look at it, there is a wedding that takes place. When I say a wedding that takes place, there's a wedding that took place at the convention. You're like, wait, what? Yes. Now he says, hey, I didn't put any charity funds into the wedding. Okay. But that is not true. Now, when you look at it, here is him getting married. There's him, his husband, officiated by Denise Crosby. She's not there for free. So she has to get paid. They put some money into their organization to fund the wedding. And you're like, well, why is it in Philadelphia? If you watch the interview, you would know that his husband's family is in Philadelphia. So, hey, we're going to have this event in Philadelphia. We're going to get married in Philadelphia so your family can attend and we don't have to worry about LA. But the real reason is that dandeevy has, in a way, disowned his family or vice versa because of what he's doing. And the story is that they never supported him, when in reality is that they supported him the whole way. Now, this is their makeshift reception. And there is our guy. you see him right here. dandeevy dancing with Denise Crosby. But if you scroll over to the right, you see Matthew Egan right here filming, catching this ninja in 4K, because he was the part of the team that provided the audio and visuals and did all of the recording. Now look, guys, this should get more attention, but it's, currently flying under the radar. The wedding was, it was not planned. It was a last minute addition, but if you look at the itinerary, it was definitely planned. This union is their reception. So imagine you donating money to a charity, thinking you're about to send some member to the community to a space program. And when you look up, all the money went to him basically throwing his star-studded wedding with the funds that people donated. So I don't know what to make of it. I don't know how to get it more exposure. And to top it all off, right? Top it all off, the United States Air Force has recently partnered with this guy. We are proud to announce that we are the primary sponsor for this year's 2024 Galactic Diversity and Inclusion Con in the U.S. Air Force. Now, you remember the U.S. Air Force had many anti-LGBTQ policies. What was it? Don't say or something, don't tell. I don't know them all, but they were not, the most welcoming to members of the community. And even to the day, I think the stigma is out there. But look, that video that went out, I 100% I tagged them in this video. Okay. 100% tagged them. So anywho, what do you guys think? They received, I believe, $45,000 to send people out there. They have their Instagram. Their Twitter, Gaaays in Space. You have him, happy. What does he say?
That reminds us of what Star Trek. Happy First Contact Day, everybody. Today is such an important day because today is the day that reminds us of what Star Trek and Roddenberry's vision for humanity's future actually means. It means bringing people together and not tearing them apart. It means building and not destroying. So I hope you'll come now, and live Roddenberry.
This shit sounds so good. He's using all the right buzzwords. But we know on the back end it's just not true. And even in his application, he talked about serving underprivileged kids in poor communities to get them into the program. and none of that has been established right here. Eventually, we also intend to establish markers spaces in undeserved neighborhoods in both cities and towns across the country. This, to my knowledge, has not happened. So the grift is real, man. Like when you out here donating to people, you really like if they say, hey, look, man, I'm doing this for this cause. I know we got someone who's saying any money they collect is getting donated to unaliving them. Was it self-deletion prevention programs? You really want to get some receipts on that. So anywho, guys, that is the story of dandeevy, founder of the Gaaays in Space program, allegedly committing what looks to be blatant, obvious charity fraud. And what I forgot to mention, right? What I neglected to mention, but let's give them their just due, is there has been a lot of people who've come forward talking about this. Like normally, like you got 9 people, him hating on Lil Nas X or whatever, being aggressive, dismissive, and rude. Like Jesus. He failed to pay the signed contract for over 6 months. Still owes $10,000. Even Matthew Egan, Gaaays in Space, owes tens of thousands of dollars in unpaid loans and to vendors that Dan never paid. Like the list goes on. He turned the organization into a personal charity, into a charity for his personal gain.
That's a truthful statement.
He was just verbally abusive. Like, damn, man, like this dandeevy guy, it sounds like he's wearing like he got the mask on, you know, like up front when he's in Donor's face, he's like, hey, look, I'm a nice guy, help me out. Like Randy Frank, he can testify. And salute to Randy, because I believe he is right here. So shout out to the people involved in actually being in the chat. He said, I co-founded, named, and funded Gaaays in Space, but had to leave due to dandeevy's repeated abuse and unprofessionalism towards volunteers, actors, and fans. I loaned him money, and when I asked for repayment, he responded by implying I should work harder to get it from him.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
What? What? Oh my God. He expressed intentions to turn the organization into a charity for his personal gain, which I found uncomfortable. In 2023, dandeevy reclassified Gaaays into a 509(a)(2), dropping the charade that they were in it to help people. God damn.
God damn.
So, look, you got someone who is in the chat who made the statement. He's like, hey, that's my name. Yes, everything he said is true. He's calling him a monster. We'll see, you know, sometimes these stories take a little bit of time to pick up, but once they do, they get rolling. That's literally all I can say, man. You know, I do the content for the story to come out, for the truth to come out, and sometimes it has a positive impact and sometimes it doesn't, but the main goal is that the truth is out there for everyone to see. All right. So do me a favor, like the stream. Let's get into the next story. Like, God damn, here we got another story. Yes. We had our good friend of the show,